So here what we're doing is we have these two functions, right? And we have to obviously compose them, like we have to make a composition of the two of them. So I'm just going to rewrite them in slightly cleaner ways, just so it's a little bit easier to read. So our first function is q of x returns x squared plus 3. So for example, if I plug in x as 1, this should return 1 squared plus 3, which is 4. And the other function is r of x, which I believe you're trying to say is root x plus 2, right? Which is also like if I plug in something to x, I plug it in here, etc. So when we find the composition of these two functions, we'll start with the first one, which is r q of 2. What this is really saying is you take q of 2, and then you take r of that. And so what we would do here is we would note that, okay, well, what is q of 2? Well, q of 2 is defined as x squared plus 3, right? So it'd be r of q of 2, which is x squared plus 3, which in this case is 2 squared plus 3. Notice how what I'm doing here is I'm just replacing the 2 for the x. And then we get that we'll have r of, well, this is 4 plus 3, which is 7. And now we note that, well, what is r? R of x is the square root of that x plus 2. So in this case, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be taking 7, once again replacing 7 as the x into this equation now, and then noting that, okay, well, then this would be the square root of 7 plus 2, which is the square root of 9, which gives you 3 for your first one. Notice that what we're doing is we're kind of just plugging 2 first into q of x, and then we're going to plug whatever we get there into r of x. And similarly, we're going to do the same thing with q of r of 2. What we're going to be doing here is saying, okay, well, first, I'm going to be plugging 2 into r, right? And if we note here that r is x square root of x plus 2, so this is going to be q of square root of 2 plus 2, which is square root of 4, which is actually just 2, right? The square root of 4 is 2. So this is q of 2. And then we note, okay, well, now I have to plug 2 back into what the equation for q is, and that's 2 squared plus 3, which means that this is 2 squared plus 3, and this is 7. So just like remember what we're doing with compositions is we first plug it into like whichever one is on the right first. Like we first plug it into q, or like the one on the right in this case, for example, and then we get whatever number that is by plugging it into this equation, and then we plug that into r.